Hello?
Hello, Neo. Do you know who this is?
Keanu Reeves is a Canadian actor, director, producer, rock musician, businessman, and just an amazing person. There are legends about his shyness and kind heart. His charm and bright appearance drive women of all ages crazy. During his acting career, he starred in more than 100 films, among which were real masterpieces. This video is about the path to stardom of one of the brightest men of our time. Keanu Reeves, how Hollywood's most wholesome guy lives and how he spends his millions. Keanu Charles Reeves was born in Beirut, Lebanon on September 2, 1964, in the family of an English woman, Patricia Bond, and an American, Samuel Reeves, who had a wild cocktail of Portuguese, Chinese, and Hawaiian blood. By the way, Keanu got his unusual name in tribute to the origin of his dad. Translated from Hawaiian, it means cool mountain wind. At the time of the meeting in 1960, Patricia was working as a dancer and Sam was doing odd jobs, including some shady ones. The man didn't have a decent education. He even received a school certificate in prison while serving time for drug trafficking. Over time, he managed to get a job as a geologist. The young family's life was hectic, with constant moving, and 2 years after the birth of their son, they found themselves in Sydney, Australia. Their youngest daughter, Kim, was born here in 1966. Soon, the father of the family left Patricia and the children. Keanu was so frustrated and resentful that even as he grew older, he did not resume contact with his dad, cutting off all his attempts at bonding. After Australia, the Reeves family moved first to New York, where Patricia became a successful costume designer before settling in Toronto, Canada. She married 3 more times, gave birth to a daughter, Karina Miller, from her third husband, but all her marriages inevitably collapsed. Studying was not easy for Keanu, as the boy was diagnosed with dyslexia, which they tried to fight with the help of speech therapists and psychologists. But the disorder is called genius disease for a reason. Reeves read a lot of books, including all of Proust, thanks to which he cultivated perseverance, diligence, and trained his memory close to a phenomenal level. Besides, he was an excellent chess player, and as a child, beat some adults earning $1 for a win. Keanu still loves to read newspapers with chess puzzles on the pages. And what Canadian boy doesn't play backyard hockey? Reeves was noticed by a local coach and invited to one of the schools. In his childhood team, he was a goalkeeper, but according to his teammates, he didn't have the physique necessary for this role and compensated for this with amazing agility and jumping ability, for which he received the nickname The Wall. By the way, he is still in the International Hockey Player Database and enjoys playing for himself and rooting for the Toronto Maple Leafs. Apart from sports, Keanu attended drama club. After an injury, Keanu had to give up on a great future in hockey, so he concentrated on his second hobby. At the age of 9, he first tried acting. He played in the musical comedy Damn Yankees, and at the age of 15, he appeared on stage as the Shakespeare's Mercutio. At the age of 17, the guy dropped out of school and left home for his girlfriend named Pat. He never received the certificate. Keanu had to pay for his free life by doing any part-time job, including mowing lawns in other people's lawns and cooking spaghetti in Italian cafes. In 1983, the young man appeared in a Coca-Cola commercial as a cyclist. Reeves still remembers that shoot with warmth and laughter, because they had to shoot in winter, pretending that they were languishing from the heat. After that, he appeared in many more Nave commercials, including advertising for Canon cameras and Japanese whiskey Suntory. At the same time, Keanu took part in small TV series and short films, and his first notable role was in the film Youngblood, where he played the goalkeeper of a hockey team and received a fee of $3,000. After the film was released in 1986, Keanu, with the help of his first stepfather, Broadway director Paul Aaron, received an American green card and moved to Los Angeles. There, he got an agent, and on his advice, used his pseudonym for the first time, because he considered the name Keanu too exotic. Therefore, in some films, he appeared as Norman Reeves and Chuck Spadina in honor of one of the streets in Toronto. The end of the 80s was the time for a good start in the big movie for Keanu. In 1988, he appeared in such films as Dangerous Liaisons, The Night Before, Permanent Record, and The Prince of Pennsylvania. Then he played in Parenthood, Life Underwater, and Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure, and then in the TV series of the same name and in its sequel. After the movies I Love You to Death, Tune In Tomorrow, My Own Private Idaho, the premiere of the action movie Point Break became a real breakthrough. Patrick Swayze was his partner on the set, but Keanu was so good on his role that he got the MTV Movie Award for Most Desirable Male.
You mad? Yeah, I'm mad! Good and mad! Yeah! What do you want to do about it? It feels good, doesn't it? Like you're still alive, right? Yeah! Well, since you're still alive, and you're not in the box just yet, why don't you tell me this theory of yours and we'll go get these guys?
The role in Bram Stoker's Dracula, which was released in 1992, was also a great success. Interestingly enough, Reeves and Winona Ryder's characters were married by a real Romanian priest, and now it is their favorite subject for jokes to call themselves legally husband and wife. In 1993, even Cowgirls Get the Blues, Much Ado About Nothing, and the colorful philosophical drama Little Buddha were released on the screens. For the main role, Keanu had to lose a lot of weight, sitting on a strict diet of oranges and water. The reaction of the audience and critics was polarized. Some were delighted, while others couldn't figure out who the film was made for and criticized the actor's performance. A short but apt review of the film came from the Dalai Lama himself, who offered modest praise but remarked that Buddha could not be small, pointing to the film's title.
I've never seen it. I've not even seen my own city. I must see the world, Yashodhara, with my own eyes.
The very next year, the actor broke into the world of A-list celebrities after his role in the movie Point Break. The director of the action movie Speed couldn't imagine anyone else for this role aside from Keanu. The film was a huge success, and his partner was Sandra Bullock, with whom Keanu is still good friends. Although it was rumored that there was a fleeting romance between the performers of the main roles, Reeves received a fee of $1 million for this role.
Shot me. I can't believe it. They're giving you a medal for shooting me, you little prick.
Harry, you told me to.
Member of the Los Angeles Police Department.
When the film was released, work on Johnny Mnemonic was actually finished. However, the Sony officials, seeing the success of Speed, demanded a reshoot of many of the scenes in order to add fights and shootings. Initially, the movie was supposed to be an atmospheric fantasy film with noir and cyberpunk vibes.
Must have been pretty good at memorizing, huh?
Implant, wet wired. I had to dump a chunk of long-term memory.
You had to dump a chunk of what?
My childhood.
Your childhood.
The actor's next works were A Walk in the Clouds, Chain Reaction, Feeling Minnesota, and The Last Time I Committed Suicide. The pearl of Keanu's filmography is rightfully considered the mystical thriller The Devil's Advocate, released in 1997.
What are you?
Oh! I have so many names.
Say,
Call me Dad.
In order to participate in the filming, he had to refuse the offer of a role in the sequel of Speed, as well as part of his fee, which amounted to $8 million, to ensure Al Pacino's participation in the project. 2 years later, the world was shocked by the release of the cult sci-fi thriller The Matrix. The preparation for the shooting was tremendous. The actors trained for several months, and just before the start of practice, Keanu injured his cervical vertebrae, which further inconvenienced him. He had to wear a special bandage for several days, and he had to make another sacrifice for the scene of Neo's awakening in the capsule. The actor lost almost 15 pounds and shaved his whole body, including eyebrows.
wow, that sounds like a really good deal. But I think I got a better one. How about I give you the finger, and you give me my phone call?
In the early 2000s, after The Matrix, the public expected something extraordinary from the actor, but what followed was a series of quite average films. Among them are The Replacement with a fee of $12.5 million, Hardball, The Gift, and The Watcher, in which Keanu didn't even want to participate. However, his insidious agent forged his signature on the contract, and Reeves reasoned that it was easier to act in the film than to butt heads with the traitor in court. In 2001, the melodrama Sweet November was released, which was not a huge hit, but it was very important for Keanu, who had suffered a personal tragedy and really wanted to vent his feelings on the screen.
What do you do, by the way?
I'm in advertising.
Advertising. So you enjoy?
People tend to enjoy what they're really good at.
This was almost the only time when Keanu himself was chasing the director, persuading him to give him the lead role. The fact is that in 1998, at one of the parties, he met his sister's friend Jennifer Syme. The passion blossomed, and Reeves, who had convinced everyone that he was a hardened bachelor, bonded with the girl with all his soul. They even decided to become parents, but a week before the birth, the baby girl, whom they decided to name Ava Archer, suffered a cardiac arrest. The actor withdrew into himself, and his lover decided to fight the grief with alcohol. That's what eventually led to her death. In April 2001, Syme died in a car accident while returning from a drunken party. After these tragic events, the actor could not dare to have a serious relationship for a long time, limiting himself to short-term romances or friendships with women. After he survived this series of misfortunes, Keanu took a new job. In 2003, the drama Something's Gotta Give was released, as well as 2 sequels of The Matrix, At Once Reloaded and Revolutions, which followed the story of the war between people and machines.
If you tell me we'll make it, I'll believe you.
We'll make it. We have to.
The films grossed a very decent figure at the box office, exceeding $1 billion, and Keanu received 15% of that in addition to his $30 million fee for both movies. However, he took a risk during production by turning down $38 million to have the money invested in creating costumes and special effects. As time has shown, this investment has more than paid off. After that, Keanu had a forced break from work because his sister Kim was diagnosed with advanced leukemia. The girl received this devastating diagnosis back in 1993, but for many years, she managed to keep the disease under control. In order to help her, Reeves stopped all activities and went to the Swiss city of Montreux, where he stayed with his sister constantly. Fortunately, the disease was defeated, and now Keanu is an active participant in charity events aimed at fighting cancer. Release of the superhero action movie Constantine, based on the mystical comic book Hellblazer, took place only 2 years later.
This is Constantine. John Constantine. Asshole.
The film didn't collect awards and a lot of money, pleasing only loyal fans of Keanu. However, the movie has a chance for revenge. The Warner Bros. Film Company announced the production of a sequel in September 2022. In the same period, the movies Thumbsucker, Ellie Parker, A Scanner Darkly, The Lake House, and Street Kings were released. The 2008 movie The Day the Earth Stood Still became special for Keanu because, unlike other works, no one competed with him in casting. The producer of the film, Erwin Stoff, couldn't imagine anyone else in the role of the alien Klaatu. The filming turned out to be very exciting for the actor. He improvised a lot and even added a few lines to the script. Perhaps this practice served as a starting point for his future directorial career. In 2013, he directed the film of Man of Tai Chi, where he also starred. At the same time, Reeves kept starring in movies by other directors. He has appeared in such films as The Private Lives of Pippa Lee, Henry's Crime, Generation and 47 Ronin. The next cinematic masterpiece in which Keanu starred was loved by both the public and critics. For the role of a retired assassin, he even received a rare positive Golden Raspberry for restoring the actor's reputation, Razzie Redeemer Award. The action movie John Wick served as the birth of a media franchise, which included films and television series, comics, soundtracks, and computer games. The 4th movie is about to be released, and the 5th one has been announced.
Noise complaint.
Noise complaint. You, working again?
No, just sorting some stuff out.
In the following years, the actor starred in the films Knock Knock, The Whole Truth, Exposed, The Neon Demon, The Bad Batch, Replicas to the Bone, Siberia, Destination Wedding, Always Be My Maybe, Between Two Ferns, the movie, and Bill and Ted Face the Music. There is also quite a unique film in Keanu's filmography. This is a crime comedy, Keanu, which tells a story about the adventures of 2 friends saving their kitten. The name and voice of the kitten are Reeves, and by the way, this is not the only time when the actor voiced characters. For example, in Toy Story 4, he voiced Duke Kaboom. The year 2021 saw the release of the Wachowski sisters movie, The Matrix Resurrections.
I felt either I'm having a mental breakdown again, or I'm living inside a computer-generated reality that has imprisoned me. Again.
And a year earlier, to the delight of gamers, Cyberpunk 2077 was released. It was a video game created by Polish developers based on a tabletop game published in 1988. Keanu played one of the main characters in the game and appeared in a fast-paced promo video.
Test of a person's true value? Death. Facing it, staring it down. You still got a chance to be somebody.
Keanu is one of the richest actors in Hollywood. His fortune is estimated at $380 million, while the ratio of his one-time fee to the total amount of his earnings is a historical record that no one has been able to break since 2003. Reeves is happy to spend his money on gifts, so almost the entire crew of the first Matrix was lucky enough to fall under his good graces. After filming ended, Keanu reportedly gave away $75 million, making costume and special effects artists millionaires overnight. After filming Reloaded, Keanu gave each of the stuntmen a Harley. For quite a while, he didn't even care about his living conditions and considered it normal to just rent an apartment or a hotel room. Keanu got a permanent home only in 2003, but he chose a very impressive villa he built back in 1988 in the Hollywood Hills in Los Angeles, costing nearly $5 million. The property is spread over an area of an acre and consists of a house made in constructivist style, a garage, a pond with decorative fish, and a long swimming pool. Keanu is known to create the interiors of his home with his own hands. He chose the finishing materials, selected the furniture, textiles, and decorations himself. At the same time, Reeves didn't build any fences, hedges, and he even used to keep his doors open. As for the cars, Keanu is an avid Porsche fan. He has a beautiful Carrera 4S in his garage. As a child, according to rumors, Keanu couldn't choose between a career as a nuclear physicist and a car racer. It is safe to say that he has fully realized his passion for speed and roaring engines. And if Porsche is just a passion for him, motorcycles can be called his true love. When he was 22, a pretty girl driving a Kawasaki Enduro caught his eye. Keanu borrowed a bike from her and asked her to teach him how to ride it. Since then, there have been many bikes in his life, including Kawasaki, Suzuki, and Harley. In 2011, all this resulted in the creation of his own brand. The Arch Motorcycle Custom Bike Company is run by just two people, Keanu Reeves and mechanic Gard Hollinger. All in all, the actor can easily travel by public transport as well. He can often be seen among subway passengers, and some even witnessed his gentlemanly behavior. Keanu also dresses quite simply and only as he feels comfortable. These are mostly stretched jeans, t-shirts, dark-colored jackets, and heavy boots. He might even show up to a prestigious award in his old sneakers. However, in 2019, Reeves became the face of the St. Laurent fashion house, thanks to which fans were able to appreciate the coolest style of their favorite actor. Stunning black and white photos in which Keanu is dressed in strict trousers, shirts with a tie, and daring leather jackets were as much anticipated as his next movies. By his own admission, Reeves has now entered his most enjoyable age. He finally had a life partner with whom he began to appear in public in 2019. Keanu and the artist Alexandra Grant were friends for a long time. She even helped the actor to publish his book called Ode to Happiness. So far, the couple doesn't comment on a possible wedding, but the available photos are full of mutual affection. Keanu admits that he has become quite wise, calm, and emotionally fulfilled. He wakes up in the morning with ease and does only what he wants to do. He can go for a run or play his beloved basketball, or he can stay home and cook something delicious with his friends all day and drink Bordeaux. He may have a nice glass of whiskey with a big ice cube when he's not occupied with work. He prefers moderation in food, making sure not to overeat. His diet includes chicken, vegetables, and rice, but sometimes Keanu enjoys eating steak or pizza. Potato chips and Coke are not forbidden either. Keanu's signature dish is Belgian waffles with butter and maple syrup. The actor calls this combination of proper diet and the occasional forbidden food the recipe of his youth. Sometimes his reservedness and private nature is perceived by people as a manifestation of some kind of emotional suffering. Thus, on June 15, 2010, the photo of Keanu taken by a photographer from one of the tabloids spread around the world. It shows Reeves sitting on a bench with a sandwich, embodying universal melancholy and hopelessness. The photo made a lot of noise. Many people were seriously worried that there was something wrong with the celebrity. This reaction shocked the actor. It turns out he was just thinking to himself and was hungry. However, this didn't stop witty fans from creating a couple hundred memes in which thoughtful Reeves sits in the company of a variety of characters, from Stalin and Churchill to kittens and skyscraper builders in New York. They even decided to establish the Cheer Up Keanu Day, which, thanks to one publication, is now celebrated every June 15. The actor himself was happy to insert an illustration with a reference to this day in his comic book, Berserker. By the way, the comic book, where the main character is based on Keanu himself, after the release in 2021, was so popular with readers that the company Netflix is making an anime series and a feature film based on it. Perhaps one day we will see Keanu Reeves on the Broadway stage, because he has a dream of playing in a musical. Why not? After all, he is not only an actor, but also a musician. In the 90s, he played bass guitar in the band Dogstar, and then he was a member of the grunge band Becky. Keanu is a star of incredible magnitude, a talented and bright actor, but in contrast to many of his colleagues, he is not arrogant. He is relatable and perceived by everyone as a guy next door. When he gets tired, he likes to drink hot tea with lemon and honey, and when he needs to stop and think, he sits down on a bench in the park and stares into the distance, not noticing anything around him. Unfortunately, life sometimes presents unpleasant surprises and trials that we all have to go through. At such moments, he says, "Don't let fear get a hold of you. Be afraid, but don't give up." Do you agree with Keanu?
A bit. But let's say it was my real grave. What would you write? Here lies Johnny Silverhand.
Arnold Schwarzenegger, how Terminator lives and how he spends his millions. Arnold Alois Schwarzenegger was born on July 30th, 1947, in the community of Thal, Austria, into a Catholic family of Gustav and Aurelia. It is known that in 1938, his father joined the Nazi army of Germany, which Arnold would be very ashamed of in the future. Although his father didn't have any proven war crimes, during the Second World War, Gustav participated in the siege of Leningrad, where he was seriously wounded. Arnold's parents got married in 1945. At that time, Gustav was 38 years old, and Aurelia was 23 years old. For the girl, this marriage was her second. Her first husband died in the war. In 1946, Gustav and Aurelia had their first child, Meinhard, and a year later, Arnold, who became an outcast in the family. All because Gustav suspected his wife of infidelity and believed that Arnold was not his biological son. Schwarzenegger's childhood cannot be called happy because his duties included getting up at 6 in the morning and doing all the hard work before school. For any mistake, his father, who worked as the local chief of police, severely punished him and even gave him the nickname Cinderella. In addition, the family lived very poorly, but this only motivated Arnold to become successful in the future. Gustav was an athlete and demanded the same from his sons, so Arnold played soccer from a young age and a little later started weightlifting. When the boy turned 14, he went with a friend to Vienna to watch the World Weightlifting Championships. Arnold was among the spectators watching Soviet weightlifter Yuri Vlasov win the world title, becoming the first person to lift 445 pounds over his head. Schwarzenegger was so impressed by what he saw that he decided that day he would devote his life to bodybuilding. Since then, Arnold began to train daily, and on weekends, when the gym was closed, he would break in through the window and work out even harder. His parents were concerned with their son's new hobby. His mother, seeing posters of half-naked muscular men in his room, even suspected Arnold of being gay, and his father was dissatisfied with the nationality of his main idol, Vlasov, and demanded to find a German or Austrian icon. At 17, Arnold participated in his first bodybuilding competition in Graz, where he took second place. At 18, he was drafted into the army for a year. It was impossible to call Schwarzenegger a good soldier. During his service, he managed to drown a tank in a river, destroy a hangar, and even go AWOL just to participate in the Mr. Europe contest. Because of this violation, he was sent to the guardhouse, but after learning that he took first place in that competition, the officers released him and even gave him a 2-day vacation. After his service ended in 1966, Schwarzenegger went to Munich, where he got a job at a fitness club. It is worth noting that back then, Arnold severed ties with his father and brother, who had humiliated him, and in the future, he didn't even attend their funerals. In Munich, the young man didn't have enough money at first, and he had to sleep on the floor in the gym. In addition, matters would get worse because of constant fines for street fights, which he initiated almost every day. In the same year, Arnold went to London for the Mr. Universe contest, where he unexpectedly took second place. The following year, he managed to win the long-awaited title at 20, becoming the youngest winner in the entire history of the competition. At the same time, Schwarzenegger participated in international powerlifting tournaments, where he repeatedly became a champion. The young man always wanted to live in the USA, and in 1968, he realized his dream by moving to California, where he continued his training. At first, Schwarzenegger stayed in the country illegally, and he was able to obtain citizenship only in 1983. In addition, the young man spoke English rather poorly, but it didn't prevent him from reaching for success. Back then, Schwarzenegger already earned his first million a few years before the start of his acting career. Arriving in California, he opened a bricklaying business with a friend. Because of the earthquake in San Fernando, the demand for building materials increased, and with it, the company's profit. The guys invested the money they earned in a new business, mailing out equipment and VHS tapes with instructions for bodybuilding and fitness. In 1969, Arnold met a teacher, Barbara Baker, who became his first love. The young man, of course, was infamous for numerous affairs, but before meeting Barbara, he didn't really love anyone. In the same year, Schwarzenegger participated for the first time in the Mr. Olympia contest, where he took second place. In the next year, he managed to win the competition and at 23, became the youngest champion in the entire history of the competition. This record hasn't been broken so far. At the same time, his acting career began. Arnold's film debut was the lead role in Hercules in New York in 1970, but in the credits, he appeared under the last name Strong, since his real one seemed too difficult.
What's your second name? Hercules what?
As I've told you, I'm Hercules, the son of Zeus.
I don't think it needs any disrespect, Captain. It probably loses in the translation.
All right. Sign him on as Hercules Zeus since he says that's his father's name, and give him an OS rating, bosun.
Aye, sir.
His character's lines were also dubbed over because of his strong Austrian accent. A joke started circulating in Hollywood that only Schwarzenegger's accent is thicker than his muscles. Arnold considers his debut role the most unsuccessful. At the same time, it brought him $12,000. Then there were the roles in the films Happy Anniversary and Goodbye, The Streets of San Francisco, The San Pedro Beach Bums, and Stay Hungry. For the latter, Schwarzenegger was awarded the Golden Globe Award for New Star of the Year. Meanwhile, Arnold had no equal in bodybuilding. For 6 years, he was the permanent holder of the title Mr. Olympia and rightfully became a bodybuilding legend. Having reached all possible heights, Schwarzenegger announced his retirement from sports in 1975. A year before this event, he broke up with his beloved. The reason was Arnold's unwillingness to marry and have children, which the girl wanted so much. After parting with Barbara, he met hairdresser Sue Murray, who shared his views on an open relationship. In 1977, Schwarzenegger, while in a relationship, started dating the journalist Maria Shriver, the niece of the 35th U.S. President John F. Kennedy. This went on for a year, after which Sue insisted that Arnold decide between the girls. He chose Maria, whose relatives, by the way, were not happy about the potential son-in-law. During that period, Schwarzenegger starred in several films: The Villain, Scavenger Hunt, The Jane Mansfield Story, and Conan the Barbarian. The latter can be considered his first successful in his career.
Priest's robe? Yes, it's all I have. Good. That's all you'll ever need.
Even though he was nominated for the Golden Raspberry Anti-Award for the Worst Male Role, the actor's payout then amounted to $250,000. Arnold performed all the stunts himself, so he returned to strength training. Having got in good shape, he decided to participate in the Mr. Olympia contest again, which he won. In 1984, the actor appeared in the sequel, Conan the Destroyer, which brought him $1 million. Later, the film Conan the Conqueror was supposed to come out, but Arnold was busy with another project, so the trilogy remained unfinished. In the same year, the action movie The Terminator was released, which became the most recognizable film with Schwarzenegger. His character's phrase, "I'll be back," became the hallmark of the actor.
I'll be back.
And also appeared in 37th place in the list of the 100 best quotes from films. Interestingly, the scene with this phrase took 9 takes to film. For The Terminator, Arnold earned $750,000 and was also nominated for the Saturn Award for Best Actor.
I think this guy's a couple cans short of a six-pack.
You're close. Give them to me, now.
Fuck you, asshole!
In 1985, the rising star was invited to star in the action movie Commando, which was well received by the public and brought Schwarzenegger $1.5 million.
You scared, motherfucker? Well, you should be, because this Green Beret's gonna kick your big ass.
I ate green berets for breakfast.
And right now, I'm very hungry.
I can't believe this macho bullshit.
The actor performed all the stunts himself simply because it was hard to find a stuntman with the same physique. Although the lovemaking scene he did was so unconvincing that they had to cut it. In the same year, the film Red Sonja was released, in which Danish actress Brigitte Nielsen became Arnold's partner on the set. A stormy relationship flared between them, although at that time, Arnold was already engaged to Maria. After the filming was completed, the actor broke up with Nielsen, who didn't want to stay a mistress and threatened to tell his fiancée everything. Then Schwarzenegger introduced Brigitte to his friend Sylvester Stallone, whom she soon married. In 1986, Arnold got married too, with Maria Shriver. He had 4 children: Catherine, Christina, Patrick, and Christopher. A few months after the wedding, the film Raw Deal was released, in which he got the lead role. Schwarzenegger's acting career was gaining momentum, and with it, the payouts were growing. In 1987, he starred in 2 films, Predator and The Running Man, for which he earned $3 million and $5 million respectively. Both films were well received by the public, and for Predator, Arnold was even nominated for Best Actor at the Saturn Film Award. At the same time, he received a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. In 1988, Schwarzenegger appeared in the film Red Heat. His payout was $8 million. In the same year, with his appearance in the movie Twins with Danny DeVito, the actor proved that he can play comedy roles perfectly.
My name is Julius, and I'm your twin brother.
Oh, obviously. The moment I sat down, I thought I was looking into a mirror.
The movie creator couldn't afford to pay the 2 actors, so they agreed to a percentage of sales, and it was worth it. The comedy had such a resounding success at the box office that Arnold received his biggest income of $35 million. The actor has repeatedly stated that he considers this film the best in his career. In the early 1990s, Schwarzenegger starred in the films Kindergarten Cop, for which he received $12 million, Total Recall for $10 million, and Terminator 2, Judgment Day.
Hasta la vista, baby.
Yeah, or later, dickwad. And if someone gets upset, you say chill out. Or you could do combinations.
Chill out, dickwad.
That's great.
For the last 2 films, Arnold was nominated for the Best Actor category at the Saturn Film Awards. By the way, the actor preferred to receive the $15 million for the second part of the Terminator in kind, and asked for a Gulfstream III plane. Then, Schwarzenegger added the following films to his filmography: Dave, Beretta's Island, Last Action Hero, Junior, and True Lies. For the latter 3, Arnold received payouts for $15 million each. Those works were awarded various nominations, and most of them Arnold received for the action movie True Lies in the categories Best Actor, Best Kiss, and Best Dance Sequence.
Do you still love your husband?
Yes, I love him. I've always loved him.
In 1996, Arnold appeared in the comedy Jingle All the Way and in the action movie Eraser, where his partner on set was Vanessa Williams, with whom, according to rumors, he had a fleeting affair. For each of the films, the actor earned $20 million. In the next few years, Schwarzenegger starred in the films Batman and Robin, End of Days, and The Sixth Day. Even though the actor earned $72 million in total for these films, his acting was heavily criticized, and for each of these roles, he was nominated for the Golden Raspberry Anti-Award as the worst actor. In the early 2000s, Arnold appeared in the films Collateral Damage, for which he earned $25 million, and Terminator 3, Rise of the Machines, for a payout of about $30 million.
EX is designed to terminate other cybernetic organisms.
So, she's an anti-Terminator... Terminator? You've got to be shitting me.
No, I am not shitting you.
After the release of the long-awaited sequel, Schwarzenegger announced his retirement from the film industry and the beginning of his political career. Despite the skepticism, in 2003, he was elected the 38th governor of California with 1.3 million votes. Even though Arnold's wife is a representative of the Democratic Kennedy clan, Schwarzenegger himself is a dedicated Republican. Arnold's political activity caused a contradictory reaction from the public, and the powerful opposition seriously lowered his rating. But in 2006, Schwarzenegger was re-elected for a second term, during which he stood out for his policy of reducing costs, refusing the governor's salary, but all the efforts to save money by laying off civil servants and raising taxes ended with mass protests by trade unions. As a result, the state led by Arnold suffered more than the others from the consequences of the global crisis. During this period, Arnold did not have time to act in movies. In 2004, the pre-film film Around the World in 80 Days was released, for the role in which he was nominated for another Golden Raspberry. By the way, in 2005, Arnold still received a special anti-award, becoming the worst Razzie loser of the first 25 years. Schwarzenegger stepped away from political affairs only for The Expendables in 2010, where he played a cameo role. Even in the fourth part of The Terminator, they had to use a digital image of the actor. In 2011, Arnold's second and last term as governor came to an end, so he returned to the cinema. According to some reports, during his political career, the actor missed the opportunity to earn $200 million in the film industry. Changes have also occurred in his personal life. After 25 years of marriage, Arnold announced that he and his wife were divorcing. Maria loved her husband very much and turned a blind eye to numerous infidelities, but she couldn't forgive one of them. The reason was their governess Mildred, whose son Joseph was surprisingly similar to Schwarzenegger. When Maria figured out that Joseph was Arnold's son, the marriage ended. In 2012, the actor appeared in The Expendables 2, for which he earned $10 million, even though all his scenes were shot in just 5 days.
I need a weapon, something big. Yours!
Whoa, 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 whoa. My big weapon's hanging right where it is.
Come on, Caesar, you gotta back up.
If I don't get this back, your ass is terminated. In your dream.
In his spare time, Arnold gives motivational lectures around the world. He has written many books on bodybuilding, and in 2012, his autobiography, Total Recall, came out. The following year, Arnold starred in the films The Last Stand with a payout of $5 million and Escape Plan. Then he added several others to his filmography, like Sabotage, Maggie, 2.5 Men, and The Expendables 3. And for the latter, he received another nomination for Golden Raspberry. In 2015, the film Terminator Genesis was released.
Won't be needing any clothes. I've been waiting for you.
It was decided not to hide Arnold Schwarzenegger's age with CGI. Instead, the writers decided to explain that the living tissue that covers the Terminator can age, and the robot's hair can turn gray. During the same period, it became known about Arnold's affair with physiotherapist Heather Milligan, who is 27 years younger than him. In 2017, Arnold appeared in the films Kill Gunther and Aftermath, which turned out to be commercially unsuccessful. In 2019, he starred in the films Terminator, Dark Fate, and V2, Journey to China, for which he again received a nomination for Golden Raspberry.
Go back and exercise, gentlemen. Affect your bodies. Remember, a healthy body houses a healthy mind. Mens sana in corpore sano. Exercise!
Even though Schwarzenegger's acting is constantly being criticized, offers from directors continue to come, and soon, we will see new films with Iron Arnold. In 2021, Schwarzenegger's divorce process, which lasted 10 years, was completed. It took that long because the spouses hadn't signed a prenup at the time, so they had to share their jointly acquired property, and there was a lot of it. Today, Arnold's fortune is estimated at $450 million, which he earned through films, lectures, and advertising contracts. Arnold appeared in advertisements for a Japanese energy drink, BMW iX electric car, World of Tanks, and mobile strike games, Bud Light beer, and others. Schwarzenegger invested money in securities of large companies, including Coca-Cola, Starbucks, and Google. Most of all, the actor liked to invest money in real estate. Nowadays, the value of Arnold's commercial real estate alone exceeds $100 million. But still, the center of his financial empire is the company Oak Productions, through which he receives payouts from film studios and percentages from comic and video game sales. At one time, the Schwarzeneggers owned a restaurant in Santa Monica, but in 1998, the establishment was sold. Also, together with LeBron James, Arnold founded a dietary supplement production company. Before the divorce, the couple lived in the Brentwood neighborhood of Los Angeles, where their children grew up. The mansion has an area of about 11,000 square feet. It includes 9 bedrooms, several living rooms, a spacious kitchen, and a dining room. There is also a garden, a patio, a swimming pool with a unique geometric shape, and a tennis court. In 2013, this family nest was sold for $13 million. Now the Hollywood star lives in a 1-story house with a large plot of land on the outskirts of Los Angeles with his favorite pets, Husky Dutch, Yorkshire Terrier Cherry, Donkey Lulu, and Pony Whiskey. Arnold owns a huge collection of cars, which includes Dodge Challenger SRT8, Excalibur Series 3 Phaeton, Hummer H1, Dodge M37, exclusive Jeep Grand Wagoneer Governator, Porsche 911, Mercedes SLS, Gallon Wagon Chrysler with an electric motor, Bugatti Veyron Grand Sport Vitesse, a Mercedes model specially created for Iron Arnold, and even a real M47 tank, the model he drove in the army. The actor bought it from the Austrian government for $1.4 million. The celebrity spends a significant part of his income on charity. Back in 1995, Schwarzenegger founded an organization that provides an opportunity for children from low-income families to get an education. The foundation also helps fight against HIV, AIDS, and other diseases. For example, in 2020, Arnold allocated $1 million to support medical workers, and in 2021, spent $250,000 to build 25 houses for veterans. In addition, he collaborated with the organization Veloce, which is engaged in the popularization of electric vehicles. Now Iron Arnold is rightfully considered a fan's favorite. A monument was erected in his honor. A programming language and even a Costa Rican ground beetle were named after him. And the Guinness Book of Records calls him the most perfectly developed man in the history of the world. Do you like Arnold Schwarzenegger? If you like the video, leave a like and also subscribe to the channel so that you don't miss anything interesting.